You have less time than you think, and more time than you feel. Right now, in your 20s, you're standing in the only decade of your life where you can fail spectacularly and still have time to recover. No mortgage tying you down the same way. No kids depending on every decision. Just you, a blank page, and about 3,650 days to figure out who you're becoming. Most people waste this decade waiting to feel ready, waiting for permission, waiting for the right time that never actually arrives. And then one day, they're 30, looking back at 10 years that just happened to them. So here's what to actually do with it. Build your body before you build anything else. Start with your body. Not because you need to look a certain way, but because your body is the only equipment you get for the rest of your life. No upgrades, no trade-ins. The habits you build at 23 compound at 43. Every workout, every real meal, every full night of sleep is a deposit into an account you can't see yet, but will absolutely need. Skip this decade and you're not just behind. You're rebuilding from a deficit. This isn't about chasing a look, it's about building a body that can keep up with the life you're trying to have. Strength now is freedom later. The freedom to hike the mountain, carry your own bags, chase your own kids, still feel like yourself at 60. Learn to handle money like an adult. Second, learn what money actually does, not how to get rich quick, how compound interest works, how debt works, how to read a paycheck and know where every dollar went. You don't need a finance degree, you need 30 minutes a month and the discipline to automate savings before you ever see the number. Start small. An index fund at 24 does more quiet work than a bonus at 34. The goal isn't wealth, it's options. Money buys you the ability to walk away from things that are wrong for you. Bad jobs, bad relationships, bad cities. The person with a small emergency fund has more freedom than the person with a huge salary and nothing saved. Take the uncomfortable job, not the safe one. Third, chase discomfort in your career, not comfort. Take the job that scares you a little. Move to the city where you know no one. Say yes to the project you are not sure you can pull off. Your 20s are the cheapest insurance policy you'll ever buy. Cheap because failure here barely leaves a mark. Nobody remembers that you had a rough year at 25. Everybody remembers what you built by 35. The safe choice feels smart in the moment. It rarely feels smart in 10 years. Optimize for growth, not comfort. Comfort is what you earn later, not what you chase now. Build actual skills, not just a resume. Fourth, collect skills, not job titles. Learn to write clearly. Learn to speak in front of people without your voice shaking. Learn a technical skill that makes you hard to replace. Learn how to have a hard conversation without flinching. Titles get inflated, skills don't lie. 10 years from now, nobody will care what your business card said. They'll care what you can actually do, what you can build, fix, explain, or lead. Pick one skill this year that has nothing to do with your job description and get genuinely good at it. That's the one that ends up mattering most later in ways you can't predict yet. Get comfortable with rejection. Now, fifth, get rejected on purpose. Ask for the raise you're not sure you'll get. Pitch the idea that might get laughed out of the room. Ask the person out even though you might hear no. Most people spend their 20s protecting their ego instead of building their life. But rejection at 24 costs you an uncomfortable afternoon. Avoiding rejection at 24 can cost you a decade of playing small. The people who look lucky at 35 just ask for more things, more often, earlier. Protect your relationships on purpose. Sixth, build your people deliberately. Friendships in your 20s don't survive on accident the way they did in school. No one's forcing you into the same building every day anymore. If you want real friendships in your 30s, you have to actually choose people now and keep choosing them. Call your parents while they're still just a phone call away. Tell your friends you love them before it feels overdue. Nurture 2 or 3 relationships like they're the most important project you have. Because they are. Go see the world while your life is still light. Seventh, travel before your life gets heavy. Not for the photos, for the perspective. There's a version of you that only shows up when you're lost in a country where you don't speak the language, or broke and sleeping in a hostel, or standing somewhere that makes your problems back home look small. You'll never again have this exact combination, energy, curiosity, and freedom, all in the same room at the same time. Use it Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's cheap and a little chaotic. That's the point. Get comfortable being a beginner again. Eighth, let yourself be bad at things in public. Take the class, start the side project, try the sport you'll be terrible at. Your ego will hate it. Do it anyway. The people who seem impressive at 40 aren't the ones who never embarrass themselves. They're the ones who kept starting things in their 20s that they had no business starting. Beginner's mind is a muscle. If you stop using it now, it's much harder to find again later. Get to know who you actually are. Get to know who you actually are. Ninth, spend real time figuring out what you actually believe. Separate from what you were handed. Question the career path you assumed you wanted. Question the beliefs you inherited without ever really testing them. Your 20s are the decade to sort out which parts of your life are truly yours and which parts you just never questioned. And write things down. Keep a record of who you are right now, because you won't recognize this version of yourself in 10 years, and you'll wish you had proof of what you were thinking, fearing, hoping for. Future you is going to want to know. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need a direction and the discipline to move in it, one uncomfortable decision at a time. Your 20s aren't a rehearsal, and they aren't the whole show either. They're the foundation. Pour it well.